Hello and thanks for joining us on NTA International News. I am Abdul Malik Adio. First, the headlines. Presidency clears the air on Department of State Service rearrest of Omoyele Sowore. Repair works intensifies on federal roads in Kogi State axis. Plus, federal government to make... Now the news in detail. Some of the insinuations in the media about the arrest by the Department of State Service DSS of the agitator Omoyele Sowore, a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity Garba Shehu says the DSS does not necessarily need the permission of the Presidency in all cases to carry out its essential responsibility. However, it should not surprise anyone who has followed his actions and words that Sowore is a person of interest to the DSS. Sowore called for a revolution to overthrow the democratically elected government of Nigeria. He did so on national television and from a privileged position as the owner of the widely read digital newspaper run from the United States of America. No government will allow anybody to openly call for destabilization in the country and do nothing. Mr. Sowore is an ordinary citizen expressing his views freely on social media and the internet. He was a presidential candidate himself who ran and lost at the flagship bearer of the African Action Congress, AAC, in the February 23rd general elections. The statement adds that Nigeria is already dealing with an insurgency that has left millions of people displaced and desperate in the northeastern region of our country, and no need for another spate of lawlessness. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari thumbs up world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua for reclaiming his belt Saturday night in a rematch with Mexican Andy Ruiz Jr. In a statement by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, the president rejoices with Joshua, saluting him for bringing joy to millions of Nigerians at home and in diaspora who had rooted for him to regain his title he lost about 6 months ago. He wishes Anthony Joshua well as he seeks to bring more glory to Nigeria and to the boxing profession. And similarly, the All Progressives Congress, APC, congratulated Nigerian-born Anthony Joshua on becoming a two-time world heavyweight champion following his victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. in a rematch in Saudi Arabia. The party, in a statement by Larry Issa Onilu, says the National Publicity of the Secretary of APC is proud of Anthony Joshua's deserved and stunning comeback victory, which saw him retake the IBF, WBA, IBO, and WBO titles. The party acknowledged that with the victory of Anthony Joshua, now joins a cluster of men including Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and Floyd Patterson to have reclaimed the world heavyweight title, the level he was able to attain as a proud Nigerian. Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osibajo will today depart Abuja for the city of Abu Dhabi to speak on the role of religion in promoting tolerance from possibility to necessity. The topic of the speech, the Vice President's speech in this year's theme is 16th Assembly of the Forum for Promoting Peace in Muslim Societies, opening tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. Professor Yemi Osibajo's speech is scheduled as a forum keynote address. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President, Lalu Akonde, says, also tomorrow at the Presidential Palace in Abu Dhabi, the Vice President will meet and build upon the decision in the Assembly. Moving on, Ebonyi State Government, David Umahi, has applauded the federal government for enacting the administration's Criminal Justice Act, which had been promulgated in the state. Chika Okori reports that the piece of legislation came up in the force in August in this year as a repositioned criminal justice system in the state. The report.
Addressing members of the state judiciary at an event to commemorate the 2019-2020 legal year in Ebonyi State, Governor David Umahi expressed optimism that the judiciary, through her quick dispensation of justice, has helped to tackle corruption, which is one of the policy thrusts of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration.
The judiciary all over the country, and Ebonyi State in particular, for fight against corruption. And this fight against corruption, especially in our state, has helped us so much in our modest God-given achievements.
An ardent believer in capacity building, Justice Aslem Wigwe said the state judiciary, in partnership with the National Judicial Institute Abuja, will continue to pursue the training and retraining of her staff.
It is instructive that the new orientation about prisons is now geared towards correction, such that we now have it as federal correctional services.
In the year under review, the state judiciary recorded a total of 66,309 cases, with 32,582 disposed of. In Abakaliki, Chika Okore, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Immigration Service has flagged off the e-registration of immigration in Kogi State with a call on foreign nationals who reside in Nigeria to register so as to avoid contravening laws. Absalam Mohammed reports.
The e-registration of foreigners, both regular and irregular residents in the country, are to be captured to maintain a solid database of all immigrants and assist in checking the level of insecurity, as well as reduce the influx of arms and ammunition within the borders. Kogi State Controller of Immigration Service, Cyril Abang, stated that Nigerian Immigration Act 2015, as amended, empowered the service to always maintain a register of all immigrants in the country, coupled with the mission and determination of the service to strengthen the security of the country through effective border security, which informed the idea behind e-registration, which is expected to last for 6 months.
It is pertinent to the e-registration exercise is free. No payment of any kind.
Governor Yahya Bello, represented by Special Advisor on Security, Jerry Omadara, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for such initiative, appealed to foreigners in the state to avail themselves the opportunity to register so that they can conduct their business without any form of molestation.
The program we are having today is too key into our national development.
Other speakers from the various security agencies, as well as the chairman, State Security Trust Fund, Isiaku Oyibo, appealed to the immigrants to always obey the law of the land by doing what will guarantee their freedom in the country. In Lokoja, I'm Abdusalam Mohammed, NTA News.
Many thanks, Abdusalam. Now, the federal government is to strengthen the macro, small and medium enterprises, given its huge contribution to the country's gross domestic product, GDP. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Adebayo, gave the assurance while addressing the 11th National Council meeting of Industry, Trade and Investment in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom. Ifoma Oyoje report.
The role of small and medium businesses in poverty alleviation in Nigeria was on the front burner as delegates drawn from agencies and the parent ministry converged on the 11th National Council on Industry, Trade and Investment to chart a way forward. The Minister Otumba Adebayo enumerated some key achievements of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment towards elevating MSMEs in Nigeria, in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's promise to take 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years.
84% of new jobs created are created by MSMEs in this country today. So government is doing everything to gear its efforts to assisting these MSMEs so that they can thrive.
Considering the need for Nigeria to catch up with fast-developing nations such as China, where SMEs provide stepping stones to socio-economic and technological advancement.
acknowledging that the energy of the future will be derived from skills and competencies, the 11th National Council meeting of Industry, Trade and Investment articulated resolutions for repositioning the MSMEs in Nigeria.
MSMEs is very vital because it serves as a bedrock of every economy.
In a state like ours, Benue State, the government has gone into partnership with the Bank of Industry for the promotion of small and medium businesses by way of creating a fund.
In our own sense, what we do is to provide the space for them, the enabling environment for them to trade properly.
In Uyo, Ifoma Ihoji, NTA News.
And from investment to infrastructural development, the Federal Controller of Works in Kogi State says efforts are being intensified in the remediation work on the federal highways in Kogi State. Jacob Sani, who accompanied the Controller and the officials of the Ministry of Works on inspection, report that the deplorable condition of the federal highways is finally receiving the required attention. The report.
Dualization of 59.9 Lokoja Okene Benin Road project, which is part of the entire remedial repair work on federal highways across the country, consists of construction activities which include asphalt concrete paving, stone-based surfacing, side and median line drains, slabs and bus culverts in line with the specification and designed to ensure safety of high-velocity vehicles on the highway. Targeted at opening up settlement and access road for goods and services. The progress report from Obajana to Okene and from Okene to Aushi indicates that failed sections of the highway are finally being reconstructed.
This was the initiative of the Mr. President, who wants the Nigeria to have ease movement during the ember months.
Contractors are fully on site in the entire 4 sections and well mobilized to complete the process of asphalt pavement installation.
By the end of this year, we are hoping to complete maybe about 12 kilometers.
Motorists, road users and residents of Obajana, Okene and Aushi describe the impact of the remedial repair work as one which will foster new economic realities through enhanced road network.
From Obajana to Kaba Junction is good.
This road now is okay by us.
The delivery of the federal highway project to Nigeria requires adequate coordination of all resources, cooperation of host communities, and consistency in the management of funds allocated for the road remediation project. From Lokoja, Kogi State, Jacob Sani, NTA News.
And you're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you live from Abuja, the nation's capital. A break beckons. When we come back, there'll be more news. Just stay tuned.
This na how we dey show for holiday. This na how we dey be when you don't tey you block male. This one pass decoder. This na your family groove. Totori your family this season. Go sharply arrange Go TV decoder and Go Tenor will carry 1 month Go TV Max subscription for low body for only 6,900 naira. Go TV, live it.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, with the Christmas season around the corner, traffic congestion in the southeastern part of the country seems to be gradually building up. Chidi Okorafor, who takes a look at the anticipated deluge of traffic during Yuletide, however, reports that the road traffic officials are putting measures in place for a free flow of traffic during the season.
Observation shows that traffic situation in some major roads and flashpoints in Enugu has increased as the Yuletide approaches. In the same vein, road traffic signs have been mounted in strategic places in the city as road rehabilitation work is ongoing in federal roads like Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, Amansi and Oji River portions of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, while 1 lane of the 18-kilometer Omonia Road has been completed.
For Enugu State, we have no fears that movement will be issue-free during the Yuletide season. The Ministry of Recent came up with a very new innovation of mounting directional signs across all major roads in the country. Enugu State is not an exemption.
From Onitsha, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Anambra State Command, and other traffic management agencies in the state have embarked on sensitization of road users and also deploy personnel to some flashpoints like River Niger Head Bridge, Opiweka, Tre Road, and Boromi Roundabout, which usually witness heavy traffic, to ensure free movement of vehicles during the festive season.
We have started our campaign. We have been going to churches, malls, parks every day, sensitizing them, passing road safety messages to them. Areas that are noted for traffic gridlock, you see our men there fully. We have started.
Those of them that are entering vehicles should ensure they enter vehicle at the relevant parks and bus stops.
With the youth tide fast approaching, motorists are reminded by road management officials to remain disciplined and observe all traffic regulations. In Enugu, Chidi Okrafo, NTA News.
In a related development, as the Yutai season draws near with significance of the end of the year, people get busy with activities trying to meet up with target. Elizabeth Yela Lamido reports that motor parks in Kano are beginning to peak as people travel in and out of the state.
End of the year is usually characterized with a beehive of hustle and bustle. People try to meet up with deadlines before the year runs out. The story is no different here in the center of commerce, as the Yuletide season is swamped with activities, hence an increase in the number of people traveling to and from the state. While some travel during the day, others prefer to go on night journey.
I'm standing in New Road Motor Park in Sabongari, Kano, where most people going to the eastern and western parts of this country take night luxurious buses to their destinations. I spoke with some of them, and this is what they had to say.
If you're traveling on a long journey and you enter morning, you feel so tired. That is why I want to travel in the night, so that there will be no go slow, there will be no delay.
No, we are in Nigeria. What do you do? Whatever you see, just join. Safety and the night, the road is free. The road is not congested.
We go to the park, especially during period like this when people travel most. I'm talking about Ember Month. We visit the drivers, talk to them, discourage them from driving at night. We even talk to the passengers because sometimes it is a passenger that insists in traveling at night.
Kabiru Daura further called on the general public to exercise caution while traveling and avoid taking unnecessary risks, as to be forewarned is to be forearmed. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NTA News.
Now, a number of migrants crossing the Mediterranean in search of greener pastures has continued to generate concerns among the 28 member states of the European Union. In a bid to curb this trend, the International Organization for Migration is utilizing the 2019 Film Festival to advocate the transformation of migration from a worrisome trend to a developmental tool to foster growth across the country. Correspondent Obiageli Ugoke completes the story.
Global Migration Film Festival was launched to educate youth on the dangers inherent in irregular migration. The movie, titled Gift from Babylon, depicts this trend. It's not just a movie, but a true life story about a Gambian migrant, Modu, who left his country to Europe through the Mediterranean Sea in search for greener pastures. His experience tells it all, from torture to abuse and humiliation. After 5 years in Europe, he found his way to Babylon, returned home devastated and empty. His reception back home is a story for another day. The goal of Global Film Festival is to pave the way for greater discussion about the phenomenon of irregular migration.
Migration, if you're not doing it properly in a safe manner, can tear families apart. And it risks many people's lives. You know, they're paying a lot of money to leave for Europe and not knowing there is no guarantee that they'll get there. And so we wanted to show the story of somebody who went through that. He did make it to the other side. He spent 5 years working in Europe, but he came back to nothing.
But they could think twice
they could be productive in the environment they found themselves. There's so many other opportunities. It doesn't have to be mainstream.
This year, the Global Film Festival featured over 30 films shown in 100 countries around the globe, reaching more than 30,000 people via 500 screenings. Obiageli Ugoki, NTA News.
And next is the World in 6 Days segment, and let's join Obiageli Ugoki again for the story.
Hello and thanks for joining us on this segment of the news. Peacekeepers have been sent to the Northern Lakes region in South Sudan in a bid to deter further violence between communities. The UN mission in the country said Tuesday that the 75 Nepalese blue helmets have been temporarily deployed from Rumbek to Nepal following reports that 79 people were killed and more than 100 injured in a series of communal clashes and revenge attacks between the Gag and Manuel communities. While political violence has largely subsided in South Sudan since the signing of a revitalized peace agreement in September 2018, intercommunal clashes continue to result in the killing of civilians, cattle raiding, and looting of property. The peacekeepers will continue to patrol the area in the coming weeks to provide a protective presence. Meanwhile, the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, has called for greater protection of aid workers in South Sudan following an attack against an international relief agency this past week. In the meantime, Cameroon's Health Minister Manuela Malaki says in the last 3 years, the number of regions affected by the measles epidemic in Cameroon has gone up from 7 to 34. Cameroon is among the countries witnessing more cases of measles. Amid the global epidemic, Dr. Fanuel Habimana says that not enough children are being vaccinated. In to stop measles spreading, 95% of children need to get the 2 doses of the vaccine. He maintains that only 71% of children were vaccinated in Cameroon in 2018. Over the last week, Cameroon's vaccination program for the second dose for children between 9 months and 5 years old has been enlarged. In other news, France's largest nationwide strike in years has severely disrupted schools and transport. Workers are angry about planned pension reforms that will see them retiring later or facing reduced payouts. Teachers and transport workers have been joined by police, lawyers, hospital and airport staff and other professions for the general workers. President Emmanuel Macron wants to introduce a universal point-based pension system that would replace France's current system, which has 42 different pension schemes across its private and public sectors, with variations in retirement age and benefits. On a sad note, rescuers in Kenya retrieved the body of a teenager who drowned as she tried to save a man who had got into trouble as he was crossing a swollen river. Ananduku 19 fell into the Candice River near Ongata, Rongai, on the outskirts of the capital, Nairobi, on Tuesday. She is one of more than 130 people who have died as a result of the flooding caused by the heavy rains that have been falling since October. Isunduku was responding to the cries of help of a man who was clinging to part of a bridge that was under construction. The man survived, but as she tried to save him, he fell into the river. And that's it on the World in 6 Days. I'm Obiageli Ugoki. Many thanks for your time.
Many thanks, Obiageli. And on a sad note, President Muhammadu Buhari has paid tribute to Alhaji Muhammad Abubakar Wabili, Serikin Mailami Gombe, who died on Friday, describing him as a man of impeccable integrity who unshakably stood by him before and after his foray into politics. Wabili was Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice when the President, then an Army Colonel, served as the military governor of the defunct northeastern state, now made up of 6 states. Speaking through a delegation sent to Gombe, led by Chief of Staff Abba Kyari, President Muhammadu Buhari said it is rare in these days to find a man like the deceased who helped onto principles standing for what they believe in, come rain, come shine. He recalled that from the moment he made he made up his mind to join partisan politics, the late Serikin Malami was part of a small group who sat down with him to draw his vision and program of action to voting public during the 3 times he ran for presidency on the 4th when he was elected president. As the government house Gombe, the delegation received by the Governor Mohammed Inwa Yahya, a statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, says the presidential delegation control with the government and the people of Gombe State over the loss of the senior citizens and the elder statesman of the All Progressives Congress who was committed to the party's ideals until his demise. At the resident of the deceased, Seriki Malami, the family spokesman, Alhaji Jibril Dukun, also thanked the president for sharing in their grief. And that concludes the news international at 7 and NTA. I am Abdul Malik Adio. Many thanks for watching.